We are set for the final Friday night of racing here in the month of June at the Stafford Motor Speedway and Bonssa Tufa. It's going to be a big one this Friday night. Extra distance for the street stocks.
And they've been putting on a good show this year. One of the best battles of the year was just a few weeks ago between Travis Downey, Ryan Waterman, Aaron Plemons, Tyler Trott. It was pretty much the entire top five.
Yep.
So we're going to see some fireworks on the track, and we're going to see some fireworks off the track after the races.
In the air as well, as we'll have a great fireworks display for all the race fans here at the racetrack. But first, let's talk about the street stocks. Travis Hydar, the defending winner of the Midstate Site Development's 30, and just one of two winners this year, kind of dominating that division along with Ryan Waterman.
He just came off a win last Friday night in pretty commanding fashion. I mean, he won by a lot. It's been the 11 and the 31 all season, as you mentioned. We're still seeing Aaron Plemons, Travis Downey, they're right there. They might need a little bit more, but you got to keep an eye on those two. Tyler Trott's improved so far this season. Yes, it's the top two of Hydar and Waterman, and you might say it's two versus everyone else, but you cannot count out the Downeys, the Plemons, the Lafayettes, these guys who are just maybe a 10th behind, but they can gain that 10th real quick and compete for the 30-lap win.
And Bonza, speaking of dominance, Kevin Cormier has it going on right now in the limited late models, picking up yet another win last Friday. I feel like ever since they have figured it out with that first win late last season, they've been unstoppable.
Unstoppable is a pretty accurate term to describe them right now. They've gone back-to-back, 3 wins on the year. They're tied for the point lead with Matt Clement. What can you say? That 14G is just on a roll right now, and he's just loving it. He's having the time of his life. He's been having a great time at Stafford since he came here last year, and to see them do what they're doing in a relatively short amount of time is very impressive. But we still got a ways to go, and you still got 3 or 4 drivers behind Cormier that are not too far behind that can capitalize if anything happens.
Including Matt Clement and Jeremy Lavoie, the winner a couple of weeks ago, keeping him within arm's reach.
That's all that matters, because if you have one bad night in this field, that can change the points big time. So we saw it last year between Hammond and Lavoie. One bad night on the final night of the year decided the title. If you want to keep it consistent, that's what matters most if you want to look at the big picture.
In the SK Light Modifieds, it was the division's all-time winner back in victory lane for his first win of 2023 last Friday.
The Big 20. Chris Matthews gets his 20th SK Light Modified win in pretty dominating fashion. He had to battle Tyler Alkis for the lead early on in the feature, but once he got the lead, he never really looked back. He was really fast. Brian Sullivan made his way through the pack, and we've seen these top guys have a hard time getting through the pack. I mean, you have 36 cars, and a lot of them are only a couple tenths apart. It's hard to get through, but Sullivan did find his way to second spot, and that's why he's atop the point standing, still having a great year for the 46 team. But going back to Matthews, he finally broke through last year, breaking a long drought. Now he's got one this year. And we really didn't see that winning speed consistently this season up to that point. We'll see if that keeps going, though, heading into this Friday.
And Brian Sullivan does continue to lead the championship battle. Top 10 finishes in each race thus far. Want to hit on Tyler Alkis for a moment. A nice recovery after a struggle 2 weeks ago.
Struggle since the beginning of the season, to be honest, because he didn't even make the season opening feature after a heat race incident. So they bounced back nicely. They had a couple top 10s heading into last Friday, but they really needed that run. The car is still maybe not the best it can be. I mean, we saw him win once last year in the second half of the season. They really kept it consistent. So we'll see if they can find that consistency again. Again, still a ways to go this year. It's kind of the case with the Spafco team, because even Tyler Berry, not quite satisfied with the car, but he's almost there. Cassandra Cole, almost there, but not quite satisfied. So those 3 in the Spafco clan, they got a little work to do, but they're not far away from a really good run.
And still has the best hair in the pit area, talking about Tyler Alkis. In the late models, we are still 6 for 6. We talk about it every week, all the different winners, and we added another one to the 2023 win list.
Our point leader, Kevin Gambacorta, came down with his first win of the year. Had to get past Zach Robinson, who was also going for his first late model win of the year, and Michael Ray, who was also looking for his first late model win of the year. So the top 3 for most of that race, they were all looking for their first win. This late model field is really tight, really competitive. Track position is so huge, and Gambacorta was able to get through the field first. That's what matters so much in this division. And despite a couple late yellows, he was able to hold off the 89 Zach Robinson, who, poor Zach, he got shuffled back on a late restart and finished 8th, but that does not show how good that car has been lately. Michael Ray, a much-needed podium. They struggled recently. They're back in the top 3. Tom Fern had a heat race incident. he was all right in the feature, got his way up through the field. Adam Gray got a podium as well. So we'll see how this division evolves over time. We'll see who can come out on top. It was not this time last year, Adam Gray won 4 in a row. No one's broken out yet. I'm
going to put you on the spot. Do we see a 7th different winner this week, and who will it be if we do?
Oh, I can see that happening. I mean, You still got Michael Ray and Zach Robinson, who ran up front all race long last week. They have a shot at victory. And after how Zach was last week, it wouldn't surprise me if he breaks his, I want to say, winless streak. I mean, he didn't race last year for the most part. And then his first full year was in 2021 where he got his first career win. But that being said, wouldn't surprise me to see car 89 in victory lane.
And then, of course, you have Alexandra Fern, the rookie, who finished second earlier in the month. She could be a factor as well. She can get that 12 car to the front of the field. In the SK Modifieds, another new winner for the season. Mike Christopher Jr. in car number 82 had a dominant night and landed in victory lane.
Yeah, I don't know how many people would have predicted that, seeing how the 82 had been performing up to this point. And they'll tell you, they weren't happy with how the car has been. In fact, this is their second car. Their primary car wrecked a couple weeks ago and it hadn't been fixed yet. So they brought the second car and started on the pole. Would he stay up there? He did. And not only did he stay up there, he got passed by Jimmy Blewett and then got him back. And that's where the debate and discussion has been about how those last few laps went down. Blewett got by Christopher. Christopher said Blewett blocked him down the backstretch, so he gave him the bumper. Blewett said, okay, if that's how it is, I might return the favor in the future. So we'll see how that goes. But, man, Mike Christopher Jr. has a knack for winning big SK Modified events.
Including the TC13, the SK 5K, and the Tick Mike SK Modified Showdown just a couple of seasons ago, and he has done it all within 2 calendar years. So we'll see if Mike Christopher Jr. can keep that momentum up going into this Friday night. Speaking of momentum, Jimmy Blewett has found it again after not even making a lap before damage a week ago.
Yeah, I mean, that car's been fast all year long. It's not a surprise to see them make their way back up towards the front. A second-place finish, I think that's their 3rd runner-up finish this season, along with the first in the podium and the DNF from the previous week. It's been the class of the field. I don't know who will be the next one to catch up to them. I mean, we've seen some cars run good. Di Matteo had a bad night because of his heat race wreck, but he'd been up there fighting top 5 for most of the season. Keith Rocco's not far behind. Marcello Refrano, oh man, who knew how fast he could be on Friday night? Because before the race even reached the halfway point, it went horribly wrong.
Right here on the back straightaway, got into the outside wall at a huge flash fire. I assume they'll be back better than ever here on Friday night.
It seems like when he has a bad night, it just motivates him to just get back out there and get the job done, which he can do. He's proven it before.
We saw that with the engine issues on Napa Spring Sizzler weekend, came back, won just a couple of weeks later, ran top 5 about every week until the incident last week. Going to be a big night of racing here at the Speedway. So many storylines to follow. Hopefully you can be with us. All the action gets underway at 6 o'clock here at the racetrack. And if you can't be here in person, don't forget you can always tune us in on Flow Racing.